Alright, so a little while ago, I got into a little fender bender. Somebody sideswiped me and I wasn't able to get a plate or anything. But I decided to see if I can do this repair myself without taking it to an auto body shop. Alright guys, so today we're going to paint this bumper cover today. When I received it, it's had a little damage. Had a little damage, as you can see right in here. What I did was I JB welded on the back side of it, and I spot puttied the front of it, and sanded it down with 320 grit sandpaper, and I got it pretty smooth. I think that should be okay. But today we're going to be sanding and prepping this bumper for paint. As you can see, it has no factory primer on it, so we're going to prime it, paint it, and I'll show you how to clear it. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to use scuffing paste. This is called Abrasive Prep and Clean by Bulldog, very good product. And a gray scuffing pad. This is equivalent to about 600 to 800 grit sandpaper. All right, so we're going to use some water and we're going to go ahead and start rubbing this stuff in. All right guys, so when you're using this stuff, a little goes a long way. You want to just use back and forth motion until you feel you cover the area thoroughly. You want to get in all the corners. A lot of times is when you have a bumper that peels, it's because of poor prep. So you want to make sure you get all the corners, because generally the paint will start lifting in a corner where you didn't prep it properly. All right, here I'm just using the hose with some water to make sure I get all the debris off of it. You want to make sure you don't leave any of that scuffing paste on before you move on to your next step. So be thorough, make sure you do rinse it off properly. All right, so once it dries and you're done scuffing it down, you'll see that it dries to sort of a matte, flat kind of look to it. That's how you know you're ready for the next step. Okay, so this is a small paint booth that I got going on. I already prepped it up. Inside I got my bumper. I got books all along the perimeter to hold it down. Okay. alcohol. We went and did that. We got it rubbed down with alcohol. Make sure that everything was nice and clean. Next, you want to wipe it down with a tack cloth. Just cheap tack cloth. I think it was like $1. All right. Then we're gonna be using this adhesion motor made by Bulldog, another Bulldog product. Make sure you read the back and find out the best method to spray it on. We're gonna do 2 light coats of this stuff, but really extremely light. Then we're gonna go with our Wood 2K high build primer. This is the gray color. This is a 2-part primer. You've probably seen me use this in another video. You basically, there's a catalyst in here. You push this button in with this red top, you mix it up together, and it creates a automotive primer like base for your base coat. All right, so here I'm just going over the panel with a tack cloth. You don't want to rub too hard with the tack cloth. You'll leave a sticky residue. You just want to glide over the surface to remove any of the dirt or the dust before you shoot any primer on it. Alright, here I'm using the adhesion promoter. I found the best method is to spray a very extreme light coat. You don't want coverage, you just want to sort of mist the panel. Alright, here I'm getting the primer ready. I'm mixing the hardener in the spray can. Alright, so here I'm spraying down the primer. You want to make sure you're using a face mask that's suitable for painting whenever you're using a 2K product. Alright, you want to make sure you read your label and product information, and you give your primer proper cure time before you start any sanding. Alright, so this is where I started the wet sanding process. I started off with 400 grit and I made my way up to 600 grit. Alright, so as you can tell, I made a couple of mistakes in some areas where I sanded through the primer, but I'm going to show you what I used to fix that. Alright, this is what I used uh, just to cover those few spots that I accidentally sanded through the primer on. I went over it again with 600. Looks like it's ready for paint. This is the company I got my base paint from. They color matched it and shipped it out to me. Again, go over the panel with a tack cloth to remove any debris or dust. Alright, so I did about 4 to 5 super light base coats. The first one is always going to be super spotty. Don't worry about it. Just be thorough. Back and forth motion. Don't stay in one spot. Second coat still a little stripy. Don't worry about it. You'll get a better coverage each time you spray. Again, tack cloth after waiting in between coats. I gave it about 12 minutes between each coat to fully dry. It's very important that you don't miss that step. You want to make sure that the panel has time to breathe and cure properly between each time you spray. Alright, on this last coat, I'm spraying a little bit slower, a little more thorough with the spray pattern. I just want to make sure that it has proper coverage and that we're not missing any areas. Alright, this is the clear that I'm using. Again, it's a 2K clear. Has the hardener built into it. You want to make sure you're definitely using your respirator. I did about 2 to 3 moderate coats on the clear. This clear is pretty forgiving. It's actually not easy to run, so just be mindful of how you're spraying it, and you should be fine. I gave this about 3 days to fully cure before it went back on the vehicle. All in all, I'm pretty happy with the results that I got, especially considering I'm using spray cans. It'll definitely give the auto body guys a run for their money. Alright, so if you're wondering how much I spent, an auto body quoted me about $450. I was able to do this job for about 120. Hope this video helps.